Vandalism at a Jewish cemetery in Philadelphia prompted a few thousand people to gather today for a rally with a strong message for their city and their country. Stand against hate. As the CBC's Stephen D'Souza reports, in the U.S., anti-Semitic incidents and other hate crimes are adding up.
After almost daily incidents of anti-Semitic threats and vandalism across the U.S., hundreds gathered for a rally of solidarity today in Philadelphia.
These acts of hatred are absolutely, positively wrong, and they have no place in Pennsylvania, and they have no place in this nation.
Philadelphia was home to one of the worst incidents, where more than 100 tombstones were toppled at a Jewish cemetery. Nationwide, there have been more than 200 anti-Semitic incidents since the beginning of the year. On Monday alone, 30 Jewish community centers and schools were threatened. It's not clear if all the threats are connected. Here in New York, the NYPD says hate crimes are up overall, and the number of anti-Semitic incidents has nearly doubled compared to this time last year.
I think this is
New York Rabbi Mark Wilds blames the divisive election rhetoric for giving license to racists to act out.
I think there's something real happening, and I don't think it's limited to the Jewish community. I think racism and bigotry is broader than anti-Semitism.
The spate of incidents has brought some communities closer together. A fundraiser to help the Jewish cemeteries by two Muslim groups passed their initial goal of $20,000 in just 3 hours. They've now raised more than $150,000.
We live in times where all the minorities and a lot of groups need to stand together against all forms of racism.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo promised $25 million for security upgrades at Jewish centers statewide. The FBI is investigating, and the Department of Homeland Security has promised to help Jewish centers increase their readiness. President Trump, meanwhile, has been criticized for not saying enough, though he addressed the issue this week.
We are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
Wild says it's not enough for the president to say his daughter and son-in-law, his closest advisor, are Jewish. He needs to do more.
Our history has taught us that when these threats are made, you have to take them seriously.
He says it would go a long way to helping reassure a community on edge. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.